Thank you first for the previous presentations. Coming from a non-profit organization, it's good to see what the academics are doing, which is a bit different than the way that we work. So that is always inspiring. I supposed to have my name in the first page, but something happened. So my name is Meri. I work at Spark as a program manager. I currently managing entrepreneurship and employment projects in Europe and Middle East. And today I'm going to share with you a bit what we are doing in Middle East, include some examples of blended learning. So first, who is Spark? We are a non-profit organization founded in Amsterdam in 1994. We focus on higher education and economic empowerment in fragile states. Currently, we have activities in these countries and in Europe. These are the countries where we also have offices and a local team. So, yeah, and from these countries, the ones that I'm going to talk today is mostly Jordan, Lebanon, Turkey. These three is the example that I'm going to give to you. So our biggest program is called Higher Education Program. It's happening in the Middle East, where we offer scholarship opportunities for Syrians and Palestinians. Since beginning of last year, we are also working with the local students. So we are growing our portfolio. And what we noticed is that after our students, they are enrolled in higher education, they finish their studies, and we start noticing that they didn't really have a future perspective. They couldn't move back to their country yet, and also they didn't know what are the opportunities that they could explore. Thinking about that, so yeah. Here I have just some examples of what we achieved so far. The numbers are higher now than 4,500, and until 2021 we expect to have 7,500 students graduated in Middle East. So when all these students they start graduating, they are sharing with us that they want to know, okay, what should I do? Should I look for a job? Should I do an internship? Should I start my own company? So we start exploring all these numbers, and we come up with an economic empowerment component where we offer internship opportunities, entrepreneurship support, and employment to our students. So, and then this is one of the projects that we have in this format. This one is focused on entrepreneurship opportunities. It started last year in October. We started the applications, and we just finished the first business plan competition, and we are providing the support to the first entrepreneurs. So what we do is that we invite our students to apply for the project. This project was in Turkey, Lebanon, and Jordan. We also opened the applications for external participants. So we open for students that hold other scholarships, for local students, and also we didn't limit our target for youth. We also open the opportunity if we have especially refugees that are older than 35 years, they are also welcome to apply for the project. As a result, we got 4,530 applications in approximately 20 days. From this, half of the applications came from women, and the majority, they were youth, so 90% they were born after 1984. And most of them, they are from Syria. From this number, we invited them for a first workshop where they learn about the project, and as a result, we provide training to 556 people. The again, 50% of them were women and 70% of them were refugees in this stage, and 36 businesses are being supported at the moment. I walk through the project and you see what I'm talking about. So, what is IBDA? So IBDA means begin in Arabic. We also have the same as you, that we have to have an acronym, and we tried to find something that was not just a long name, but has a meaning for our participants. And this is the name that we came up. Our project was divided in 4 phases. So we start with the outreach, where we receive online applications. We have 2 online applications. One were for people that we call existing business, that are people that already know what they want to be doing, already have a business idea or a business canvas or a business plan. And the second application were for those that want to explore the entrepreneurship opportunities. They don't know exactly what entrepreneurship means. They don't know if entrepreneurship was for them. So they are more exploring these opportunities. Then the second phase is the orientation phase, where we introduce entrepreneurship to them. Is where they learn what is entrepreneurship about. And for those that already have a business idea or an existing business, we start working on developing their ideas further and telling them what is this journey about, how much time you take, what are the challenges that you face. So they receive orientation about the topic. After that, we have a self-assessment process where the participants, they could answer if they are ready for this journey, if they want to become entrepreneurs, if they want to be part of this project. From this phase, we call the advanced phase, where they work more intensively on their business idea. Is where their business will be ready to be launched, or if they already have a business, the business will be ready to grow. Then the last phase is what we call the takeoff. That's where we offer the one-to-one coaching or mentoring support, co-working spaces, and access to finance for those that went through all this journey. So what we did in each phase, we tried to work with, in all steps, we tried to work with online and offline approach. Our project wasn't only offered in big cities in Turkey, Jordan, and Lebanon. We also work in smaller communities. So in these places, we knew that we have to have a different approach to achieve the results that we are expecting. Then for instance, we opened an online application, but we realized that our participants, even though they could find the link to apply for a project, they didn't really know how to be filling in all the details or why they have to provide certain details. So then we designed a webinar that guides them through this process, and then they can also have contact through SMS or email, or even coming to our partner's office and asking support to be applying for the project. We also designed videos for social media, where again we show them how the application process happened and what they can expect to get after they apply for the project. And we organized dissemination workshops where we explain how they should apply, what we are expecting from them, and what they can be expecting from us. So after they come to the dissemination workshop and they are going to the orientation phase, they start to have some questions about where to start and who we are and what we offer. So we always see that, as I mentioned before, that we have those that are potential entrepreneurs, that are exploring this opportunity. We have those that started their business but is informal or is still on the early stage. And then we have those that we call that are the startups that they already start their business, but they are looking for additional support to grow or to formalize their business. Or they have different needs on what they need on this stage, but it's mostly how they can actually become a business and grow and be stronger. So with these phases created, with this application form launched, we work with a traditional Spark concept on business support, and we divided this business support according to the phases of this project. So basically we start with the entrepreneur, is where the person will be showing the desire of becoming an entrepreneur, and then we walk through until the takeoff of the business, where they get access to finance and coaching and mentoring. So the orientation phase, we focus on the mostly on the first two blocks, and we introduce the third block. Is where the entrepreneurs, they will be thinking, okay, what is my business idea? What I'm doing differently than others? So we offer some trainings on innovation, business idea development, challenges of becoming an entrepreneur, what means being an entrepreneur in the country where you are starting your business, and so on. On this phase, we work with in-class training. So we did trainings in different cities. The trainings could be between 2 and 4 days to adapt to their time and time commitment. 2 days is that, or like a weekend intensive training, and 4 days if we did evening classes. And then, as I mentioned, we focus on idea, what is being an entrepreneur, and the business environment. Then we come to the second phase, is where they start working more intensively on their business. That is where they will be developing their business plan canvas, or their business plan. And this phase is where we offer a different format of support. We offer intensive trainings. We also offered, we organized boot camps for their idea development, and also we use this opportunity for matching participants, because as I mentioned, we have locals and refugees. We have existing business and new business. So during this weekend, they start to know each other, and they start to see the possibilities of working together. In Jordan, for instance, we have some good examples that for a Jordanian to start a business, they face different challenges than a Syrian to start a business. And if they create partnerships, could be easier for them to launch a business. So this were the moment where these partnerships start to be created. We have the same examples in Lebanon, where they could start this relationship. We didn't have the same in Turkey. One of the things that was shared with us was because in Turkey, the Syrians and the Turkish, they don't speak the same language. So this was a challenge. And we had to split the group based on the language that they speak, and then the cooperation was a bit smaller. Then we had in-class training that was mostly focused on their business plan development. So when we talk about their financial planning, accounting, administration, so all these topics, they were addressed in class. And then what we did is that we did online coaching, because in Turkey, we had 5 cities where we offered trainings, but we have participants that they couldn't really travel from one city to another. So for these participants, we offer online coaching. The same happened in Jordan, that we had participants that they couldn't be leaving their camp freely to be attending the training. So we did online coaching using Skype for them to be having access to the same kind of knowledge. Then what we did as a last step, when the participants start developing their business plan, our partner in Jordan, they have an online platform. So they train the participants of how to be using and build their business plan online. And once they include all the information on this website, the business plan is in the format that you can be doing the pitching, because a PowerPoint presentation was created, and is in the format that is acceptable by any financial institution in Jordan. So the whole editing and making sure that your business plan worked in the right format was done on this app or this website. So after they went through this journey of getting the knowledge and building their business plan, the last step of our project was the operation phase. That we mean is that when we offer coaching, mentoring, and access to finance training for them to finalize their business plan and go to a business plan competition. The business plan competition is an open competition that we organized, so was also open for those that didn't participate in the project. We received more than 300 applications, and we selected 39 for additional support. During this phase, we also offered online coaching and mentoring. And now we are in the takeoff phase where they are getting access to finance. The winners are getting access to finance and also additional support with mentoring and coaching. Mostly of the mentoring is done online, and then coaching, we try to do also some offline sessions because there are some certain challenges and certain topics that our participants, they would like to be meeting the coach to be discussing in person, so they can choose the format of the support that they want. Okay, so why we decided to have online and offline approach for this project wasn't decided prior we start the project. But when we start talking with our participants, we are trying to make sure that we are offering the support that they are expecting. So they were sharing with us, for instance, to have a webinar about the application form was something that by talking with our participants, we noticed that they were expecting this. The same with the online coaching and mentoring was something that was asking by them. And then we also we noticed that the exchange knowledge, this is mostly done on social media and on WhatsApp. The creation of small groups to be exchanging training materials or catching up if one participant couldn't attend one session. So they informally start using these groups, and we try to formalize this to be also having one trainer present in these groups that they have, or that we are sending emails with a summary of trainings. So we try to offer additional support for them, for those that couldn't attend all the trainings. And then the offline, we focus most on these topics that I already mentioned before. And I try to share a bit what was our experience on having online and offline support. Again, this is not a data that is formalized, or that these are just experiences that we have with this project. And this is based on what our local partners and what my colleagues also share with me when they are implementing the activities. So we The good points about having an online approach is that the participants, they don't need to have the obligation to be in a certain classroom in a specific time. So they have freedom to be learning according to their availability. And if they need to recap a session, they can be easily be doing this. Then the second thing is that they, along with the same one, is that they have everything stored in one place, because we know that even if you deliver the training material, it's not the same as you knowing, okay, this is the website where everything is, where I can find the email address of my trainer or the phone number of my coach. The second, and this is for Jordan, is that having the format of the business plan in this online platform was make them their access to finance much easier, because when we did the business plan competition in Jordan, our participants, they did a presentation that was answering exactly the questions that the investors have, and they could immediately send this document to a microfinance institution, for instance, or they could use that to make the next steps of their business. For the partners, this approach has a good value per money, because renting, they didn't have the need of renting a training space and be traveling people from different cities to attend the sessions. And also you can have more participants engaged in the project. And the last one is that if the participants are submitting their results online, it's also easier for the trainers to do an assessment. And for us, as was also easier to see the quality of what was being produced by the participants. Then the cons, even though our participants, they all, not all, but the majority has a mobile, doesn't mean that they have a laptop with internet. And if the access to information is not mobile friendly, it's difficult for them to access. For instance, one of the approaches that we use, we send SMS to them with a link, and they can be accessing the information. This works if they are opening a web page, but if they need to be downloading information, it's then they will be saying that they're using their own internet. So you have different challenges when you ask people to be using their mobile to this, and also because the format wasn't friendly enough for them to be willing to use their mobiles for that. And when we organized the webinars, we didn't feel the commitment of the participants for the offline. After we launched the webinars, we see that we had many viewers, but during the time that the webinar was online, we didn't have a lot of interaction, and we didn't see that the participants, they are taking that seriously the same as they did in the in-class trainings. So for us, the webinars is one point that if we decide to keep having, we need to think about some improvements and how to have more commitment for that.
Can I say something about that? I think it's simpler.
Yes.
I mean, if you never grew up with webinars and you're using online communication for this, something serious like this, you would be still value a meeting more. So I think it's a matter of time and of course good high quality webinars.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they also, one thing that we notice is that because we have many participants that they are students. So our image was that, okay, the students, they are more used to online tools and they will be more willing to be part of webinars. But this wasn't necessarily the case because it's all about how serious they are taking this training.
And also in webinars, I find that people expect one-way traffic. when you actually ask them what they expected out of it, they expect to be lectures, and they don't expect to have to contribute, so they see it as a totally passive activity, and many of them have no experience in interacting, so they don't even open the chat, they don't even try. So there's also an expectations. You have to try to get them interacting before the webinar starts, and there's many tactics to do that.
For us, sorry.
And as you said, you are using WhatsApp forums as well. Are the students active in these channels?
Yes.
Yeah.
On social media they are, but then it's everyone. But what we notice is that when I say lack of commitment is that even when we did the coaching and the mentoring sessions, the coach was, okay, if I have to start the session at 10, I will be ready at 11:30. So, and if it was a training that they have to come, we face less challenges on time commitment, for instance. But in having them, for instance, if you send a SMS with a survey, you can expect that they are all going to, not all, but they will be replying. If you send an email with a link, the response rate is different. So you have, it's all about like, we try to have a close relationship with our participants to know what works better for them. So this is something that we try. This project wasn't that big in terms of number of participants, so we could have this one-to-one interaction with them. Again, this is a new format that Spark was implementing, because our traditional way was previously training. So we are expecting people to be in a training room at a certain time. And so this was a lot of learning for us as well of how we can do better on a blended format, and what are, for instance, that if we should have a MOOC on entrepreneurship, that is instead of having our training materials available to them. So there are different things that we can now explore because we had this experience with this project. And I think that's it. I try to share with you a bit what we are doing, and please feel free to ask me any questions if you have. No?